Ladies and gentlemen, there is a case of an individual who basically I did paint my eyebrows. My Aunt Gloria said she would give me $100, so I want to make them look thicker. So to speed up the process, I did put some marker. Ladies and gentlemen, comedic relief aside, or whatever that was, basically, let's keep reality as it is, not worse or better than it is. There's a case involving an 18-year-old or older guy that was caught in the closet bedroom of a minor for a week or 2 weeks, and that he was basically living inside that girl's place. Now, the cops that responded to this situation was frustrating. Watching the body cam footage, it's frustrating seeing how they treat it so like they treat him with kindness. They treat him with respect. And to me, I just I can't I don't understand that. I would have been in that situation um more assertive, okay? And so that I see is happening to me. There are situations in which I take things way too lightly, like situations that I'm describing about the factors of the field of my environment, or my Aunt Gloria, or my father, or people in my high school, that my opposition, put it that way, that I'm taking it way too lightly. So all this stuff, ladies and gentlemen, that I'm saying about my opposition, I'm taking that very lightly, and I'm speaking in the same way those cops were treating that guy, that adult, that kid. Um, and I realize that that's what I'm doing. I see how I'm like very light-handed on Jaylen Brown and Malone Brown, Descents and Friends. There could be people that are saying that when he showed up to my parents' house, that I should have um, got into an altercation with him, or have fought him at my parents' house. But ladies and gentlemen, that is very short-minded thinking. You have to please do your due diligence on my YouTube channel and the foundation of genuine education that I was given until the second grade at Raymond Case Elementary School, which was September 11th, 2001. So in that, ladies and gentlemen, I'm taught not to do that at my parents' house. You don't bring poop to the house, guys. You don't bring shit to the house, as they say, okay? So basically, ladies and gentlemen, that's my reasoning for the way I acted. And again, I don't agree with the way I'm being very kind and very like soft spoken about very serious matters at hand. But you have to understand that it's almost like I have no voice. And the only way that I can utter these words is through this. It's like they want me, it's like I could say whatever I want, but it has to be in the way that they want, in the tone that they want me to say it. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I've shared a lot of stuff about how manufactured consent and coercive control works on my YouTube channel, thanks to other YouTubers, other YouTube channels that are dedicating their life to justice, to figuring out what's going on. And you have to understand that it's through my perspective, because I was born in 1994, that gives me that that gives me value to people that were born pre-2000 or pre-2001, because I have that perspective, right? And so kids today that are born, they're taking their communication from their kids away from their parents. So they're compartmentalizing that, so that way they don't communicate back to their parents and reflect their trajectory in life, or so that, ladies and gentlemen, is how people go into a dystopian robot controlled, that's how we become bootloaders to our own slavery. So if you were born after 2001, you have to understand the factors of the field of your environment and what common denominators. And a lot of times, ladies and gentlemen, we prejudge. So for myself, yeah, guys, I wish I didn't have to paint my eyebrows for money. to get money from my Aunt Gloria. You know, I wish my dad didn't have to overspend his purchases at making conspicuous consumptions at random stores for things that he doesn't even use. And I wish he could give me that money instead. But he doesn't trust me because of I drink beer and cannabis. I choose cannabis instead of ibuprofen or oxycodone, you know? And therefore my dad doesn't trust me. And he's in his 80s, so that explains that. My mom, 20 years younger. And like I said, myself, 94. So we're extremely compartmentalized in what we communicate. So that's why if you look at us from outside looking in, it looks like a sitcom, you know? Like, I want to have more depth in the conversations that I have with my parents and with my Aunt Gloria, but you're witnessing how it's only surface level communication that we have, and my dad only shows his love through giving me money, you know, 5, 10, 20 bucks here and there. Same as my Aunt Gloria, you know. My Aunt Gloria actually, she does a little bit more than money. She actually is a critical thinker of the family, you know. She's a very smart businesswoman, and that I give her credit to. And so, ladies and gentlemen, again, I was born in 1994, and this is my perspective in my local and the factors of the field of my local environment. Thank you for listening.